The internet made music cheaper and easier to obtain for many people, from services like Spotify and YouTube, making music easily accessible for basically free. But the first biggest change to the music industry because of the internet came from Napster. This was a service where people could download music for free. This basically created an unlimited music library for people. Back in 1993, this was a revolutionary thing, and at its peak had over 80 million registered users. Before Napster and other services like it, if you wanted to listen to one song from an artist, you would have to go and buy the whole album just for that one song. The single wasn't as popular yet like we see today, with artists releasing one-off songs all the time. So if you really wanted to listen to that one song, you would have to go and spend around $20 for the whole album. Obviously, record labels and artists were not happy about what Napster was doing, as it was basically stealing music. After only 6 months of operations, they were being sued by the Recording Industry Association of America. After one of Metallica's unfinished songs got leaked on Napster, the band started their own lawsuit against the company, along with many other artists. They went as far as hiring an agency to get the names of people who were downloading Metallica songs off Napster, and wanted Napster to ban those users. Their fans did not like this very much, and they were doing this because they saw it as listening to a band that they liked, and all of a sudden the band is coming after them personally. Metallica said it wasn't about the money they were losing from these downloads, but instead it was about the control over their music. This does seem reasonable, as one of their unfinished songs was leaked on Napster. At the end of the day, we all know what happened to Napster, but they were the first ones to really show that getting music online was a viable option for people. Napster is actually still around, and is a subscription-based music streaming platform similar to Spotify. Streaming platforms such as Spotify have become the music industry's single biggest revenue source, overtaking physical sales and digital downloads in 2018. According to the Recording Industry Association of America, streaming music now accounts for over 80% of the revenue from the music industry. With the majority of the music industry's revenue coming from streaming, it has changed how artists are getting paid. With the normal record sale, the artist will get a cut of whatever the record sold. With streaming, however, an artist gets paid per play. This might sound great, but an artist gets paid fractions of a cent per play on a streaming service. On average, Spotify pays 0.00318 per stream, so 1,000 plays will net you $3.18. The payout also depends on how the user is listening. If it is a free tier listener, the payout is less than if it is a paid tier listener. This payout system has been highly controversial, and many big artists feel that they aren't being compensated fairly because they are the ones that are bringing people into the service, such as Spotify and Apple Music. Taylor Swift is one of the most notable artists that have been feuding with streaming services and how they treat and pay their artists. In 2014, Taylor Swift pulled all her songs off Spotify and stated that music is changing so quickly, and the landscape of the music industry itself is changing so quickly, that everything new like Spotify all seems a bit like a grand experiment, and I'm not willing to contribute my life's work to an experiment that I don't feel fairly compensates the writers, producers, and artists and creators of this music. In 2015, Apple Music announced a 3-month free trial for users, but stated to artists that they will not be paid for the plays people used on this free tier. Taylor Swift was not a fan of this, and expressed her frustration with Apple and stated, "I find it shocking, disappointing, and completely unlike this historically progressive and generous company." She also stated that she is sticking up for the new artist or band that has just released their first single and will not be paid for their success. Apple later changed this decision around and paid artists for plays for this free tier. All of this sounds familiar to Metallica vs. Napster, where artists want to keep control of their music and get compensated fairly for their work. Recently, however, Spotify has been cozying up to big artists, and now lets artists opt out to keep their new albums off Spotify's free tier for the first 2 weeks of the album's release. Some argue that streaming services are actually good for smaller artists, no matter what the pay scale is. This is because it used to be very difficult to break into the music industry. Before, you would need a big record label backing you to even have a chance at your music being seen at a national level. Nowadays, small artists can put their music on services like Spotify or SoundCloud, and millions of people can listen to their music. The distribution of music is much more streamlined and easier for smaller artists. Because of this, we have seen artists that might not have gotten a chance, but have made it big because they put their music on SoundCloud. One of the biggest artists, Post Malone, got his start by recording his own music and putting it on SoundCloud and YouTube. Without the backing of a big record label, eventually he got his big break with the single White Iverson, and he blew up from there. I see this as a good thing because anyone can have easy ways to share their music with millions of people. TikTok has also changed the way people listen to music. If your song clip gets big on TikTok, it could rocket your career to the next level. We saw this with Lil Nas X's song Old Town Road, which was fairly unknown until it blew up on TikTok. Artists are now specifically putting in catchy hooks that you can dance to so the song will become popular on TikTok. Many songs that are popular on the app jump to the Billboard's Top 100. TikTok has such influence on music that they even started offering artists paid promotion to boost their songs. The streaming wars are in full effect and it is changing the way we consume music. It is also changing who has power in the music industry. Before, big record labels held all the cards. Now it seems like tech companies have massive influence on how the music industry is run. In the future, I won't be surprised if we start to see these streaming services sign more exclusive deals with upcoming artists. These tech companies will soon become the new record label and will have all the power. Who knows, we might soon see TikTok become the biggest thing in the music industry since Napster. For now though, I think it is a good thing that services like these exist for up-and-coming artists, as they can release music to people a lot easier and have a bigger audience that can see their music. What do you think about music streaming services? Is it a good thing for smaller artists? And what do you think the future of the music industry and distribution will look like? I would love to hear what you have to say. And with that being said, thanks for watching, and like and subscribe to see more videos.